Welcome back to The Explainer. I am so pumped you're here today because we're diving into something literally game-changing. Have you ever felt like you're standing totally alone? Like everyone around you, friends, family, maybe even people you deeply trusted have already written your story and they've decided it ends in failure? They shake their heads, they call your ideas unrealistic, and say, people like you just don't make it. Well, today we're going to break down the exact practical mechanics of overcoming that external judgment. We're taking a deep dive into the absolute most powerful force you possess, your own self-belief.
Let's kick things off with a definitive truth from our source material. It is not over until I win. Listen, this isn't just some fluffy, feel-good motivational poster. According to the research, this is the fundamental truth separating the people who break through from the ones who break down. The worst part of facing massive doubt isn't actually what other people say, right? It's that tiny nagging part of you that starts to believe them. So in this explainer, we're going to show you exactly how to activate a force that doesn't need permission, doesn't need approval, and definitely doesn't need external believers.
So what actually happens when nobody believes in you? Think back to the very first time you shared a huge dream with someone. You were buzzing with excitement. Your heart was racing. You could see the whole path forward. And then you said it out loud. And you watch their face completely drop. They hit you with the classic, but what if you fail? Or, hey, let's be realistic. With every single word, a little piece of that dream died. Not because they were objectively right, but because in that gut-wrenching moment, you just weren't sure if they were wrong.
Section 1. The Psychology of Doubt. Let's look at exactly what's going on in your mind during that exact moment of devastating skepticism.
What's fascinating here, and what most people completely miss, is the biological mechanism at play. When you share a dream and someone you love shoots it down, your brain literally treats it like a physical threat. Neuroscience actually shows our brains process social rejection using the exact same neural pathways as physical pain. No joke. So when people close to you signal danger, your survival instincts just take over. Suddenly, you aren't pursuing your dream anymore. You're surrendering to fear. You tell yourself, oh, I'm just being practical. But really, it's a physiological surrender. And that brings us to a massively crucial turning point. The people who actually manage to change their lives make one conscious mathematical decision that separates them from everybody else. They decide that their belief in themselves is greater than the doubt of others, period. And they don't do this with blind arrogance either. They do it consciously. They look at the doubt, they acknowledge the risk, and they say, okay, I hear you, but I'm going anyway. That is the exact moment the whole game shifts.
Section 2. Proof from the impossible. Now let's look at how this plays out in the real world by examining some legendary figures who faced absolutely crushing external judgment.
Our source data highlights some pretty incredible historical examples here. Take Steve Jobs. He was famously ousted and told he was way too young and too weird to lead a major tech company. He didn't quit, obviously. He revolutionized multiple industries. Or Oprah. She was deemed too broken, too dark, and told she simply didn't have the right look for television. Fast forward, she builds a massive media empire. Michael Jordan, literally cut from his high school basketball team by coaches who said he'd never be good enough for the next level. The big takeaway here? None of these icons succeeded despite the disbelief. They succeeded because they used it as their primary fuel. When everyone doubts you, you have literally nothing to lose and absolutely everything to prove.
Look, the people who believe in you are great, for sure, but their belief is comfortable. The people who doubt you actually give you a massive gift, a mountain to climb. Massive doubt is undeniable proof that you are attempting something truly meaningful. Think about it, nobody doubts you when you try to do something small. Every no is just another break in your foundation. These doubters are operating on incomplete information. They don't see you grinding at 3 a.m. They're judging from the outside, but you are living the truth on the inside.
Section 3. The Prison of Permission. But what happens if you don't climb that mountain? Let's talk about the heavy, hidden costs of downsizing your dreams just to avoid a little judgment.
Our source outlines this brilliant concept called the prison of permission. See, when you make decisions based entirely on whether others believe in you, you never actually become yourself. You just become a reflection of what people expect. You dim your light because, well, it's easier than dealing with the heat of judgment. You downsize your dream because defending it just feels way too risky. And sure, you might feel a little safer in the short term, but ultimately, you are completely trading away your freedom, your authenticity, and your true potential.
And the social shift you experience when you finally break out of this prison, it's stark. When you stop asking for permission, yeah, you will lose people. Some will feel threatened because your growth highlights their own stagnation. They might get angry, they might try to pull you back down. But on the flip side, look at the people you'll gain. You are going to attract this powerful new community of dreamers, believers, and challengers who say yes because they see your vision too. Your only job is to walk your path, not to make the people you leave behind feel comfortable with it.
Section 4. The Self-Conversation Strategy. This brings us to the core practical strategy of this explainer. Because the most important conversation you will ever have isn't with your doubters. It's the conversation that happens with yourself, looking in the mirror when absolutely nobody else is watching.
Let's see how this builds into exact step-by-step mantras. The source material outlines these specific phrases for when doubt is just at its absolute loudest. You need to internalize these and use them every single day. My belief is not based on their approval. It's based on my commitment. I don't need everyone to understand. I only need me to understand. Every failure is preparation. And finally, I am becoming the person who makes this happen. Guys, these are not just empty motivational words. They are strategic self-conversation techniques. Every morning, you have to make a choice. Are you the person who listens to everyone else's limitations, or the person who builds your own vision?
Because real, unstoppable belief isn't about having some blind confidence that you're guaranteed to succeed on day one. Not at all. It's entirely about having relentless, unwavering commitment. It's about being committed to trying until you win.
Section 5. The Decision Moment, which brings us to the final phase of our explainer. Because everything we've mapped out today means absolutely nothing without action. This is all about your inner spirit, your purpose, and your readiness to finally stop waiting for permission.
First things first, you must stop arguing for your limitations. Stop telling yourself you can't just because someone else doesn't believe in you. Seriously, when you do that, you are actively handing over your personal power to people who are operating on totally incomplete information.
Instead, you have to do this. Start building despite the doubt. Start moving despite the fear. Look, the world doesn't believe in your dream because most people don't even believe in their own dreams. But you believe in it. And as we've learned today, that has to be enough. You must build your foundation even when fear is fully present in the room.
And ultimately, you start winning. You win despite the disbelief. You decide today that you will not let their doubt become your reality. You use their disbelief as the exact proof you need that you are attempting something great. Your own conviction is literally the only approval you will ever require. And you know what? When they finally see you succeed, they won't say, "I told you so." They'll say, "Man, I should have believed."
I want to leave you with this final, incredibly empowering message straight from our source. That doubt they gave you, it's ammunition now. Build something so undeniably great that their disbelief becomes the most powerful motivation you've ever tapped into. Success isn't about convincing them. Success is about becoming unstoppable. Go.
As we wrap up this explainer, I want you to sit with this and really answer it for yourself. Will you let their doubt become your reality, or will you use it as the rocket fuel for your victory? The journey from a doubted dreamer to an unstoppable force starts right now. Thank you so much for learning with me today, and I'll see you in the